Hey guys, my name is Christina.
My name is Brian, and welcome to What the F*** Did I Just Watch?
Where every week we will be rolling a 26-face die that will determine the first letter of the movie we will watch this week.
The twist is that one of us, or both of us, have never seen the movie before.
So join us as we share our thoughts on the movie.
I mean, that's gonna be horrible, but yes, absolutely.
Have a few laughs.
Stop it. And discuss what the f*** we just watched.
Hi everybody, welcome to a special bonus episode of
our show.
Today we thought it would be kind of exciting for us to rank our favorite besties.
Yeah. In TV and film.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we both gathered our top 10.
Yep.
We have not seen one another's lists.
Correct.
And we're going to dive into it and see if we have any overlap or if they're completely different.
I told you this, but I'm expecting one, maybe two. Looking at my list again, maybe two. But I think it'll be pretty different.
I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would you like to start?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. What's your number 10, Tina?
Coming in at number 10 is Garcia and Morgan from Criminal Minds. I love them. Their playfulness, their flirtatious playfulness, and just their bond is so cute. Plus, I mean, that show's really fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
But I really love their friendship in that show and how they help each other. They back each other up all the time. And the way that they talk to each other is so sweet. It's really, like I said, it's flirtatious. It's fun. I like them a lot.
I don't really think I've seen a lot of Criminal Minds.
No? It's a really good show. I mean, I don't know that you would be able to get into it the way that I did when it came out because it's an older show.
Right.
But yeah, I love that show.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Coming in at number 10 on my besties list is R2-D2 and C-3PO.
Oh, nice.
Yes. They are adorable and I love them.
It's true.
Even though they're not real. They are artificial intelligence
At its finest.
worker droids. Yeah. They've always, as you said about yours, they've always had each other's backs, especially in like the new trilogy when they're separated for a lot of it and then they're reunited and it's kind of just, they just beep and boop and it's very cute.
I love that you have no idea what R2-D2 is saying.
But you know.
But his mechanical, beep boop beep boops are so cute.
Yeah. You know what he's getting at.
I like his whistling.
Ah, indeed.
Number 9, Chandler and Joey from Friends. I love that show, man. There's so many, I love the girls, but Joey and Chandler always have just this way of getting into the weirdest situations and helping each other out in a very comical manner. Poor Joey.
Never big on Friends. So
You're missing out.
I mean, I've been told that and then I'll go to watch it and it's not there for me.
I think that like most shows, you have to kind of get through the beginnings and then form a relationship with the characters and then you'll become more invested. It's a great show and I was very disappointed when Netflix got rid of it.
All right. My number 9 is from my childhood. And that is Arnold and Gerald from Hey Arnold. I love Hey Arnold and I love the movies.
Head.
Yeah. I just love their little thumb waggy thing that they do. And yeah, they're just like two bros.
Brosovs.
Yeah. But they're like in 6th grade.
I haven't seen Hey Arnold in years.
It was on Hulu. It might be on Paramount Plus now because that's where a lot of the Nick shows went.
Number 8 for me was Sam and Dean Winchester. Two brosovs. They go through so much crap. And Supernatural is such a good show. I admittedly fell off because I think that it was too dark for that point in my life.
Okay.
Because they are surrounded by despair.
Right.
All the time. They lose a brother, they gain a brother. They lose the brother, they gain the brother. Like, it's just this constant, it's an apocalyptic battle. And so, like I said, admittedly I fell off. But that's where I got my cat's name. The devil, his real name is Fergus.
Oh.
And I really like how his mom says it because she comes into play. Sorry if you've never seen Supernatural. Spoiler alert. But she calls, well, she's Irish, I think. She's like, Fergus. And so I loved that. And we were trying to come up with a name for him. And I was like, oh, I freaking love the name Fergus. So.
Is he also overweight?
Oh my God, you're such a jerk. Coming from you. I won't make fun of Briggies because he's in the other room. But
Yeah.
your cat is
And he's
also
sickly.
obese.
He's not obese.
I'm gonna call your veterinarian and talk to her about it. Get a
She
real
thinks he's
opinion.
fine.
Okay.
So it's called the COVID-19. All right, my number 8 is Leslie Knope and Ann Perkins.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yes, they're wonderful, and I love how much Leslie loves Anne. And it's reciprocated, but Leslie's like obsessed with Anne.
Yeah.
And
Kind of like
just-
you're obsessed with me.
you would like to think so, but I'm not. Yeah. So
I will
But I'll see
screenshot
you
my phone records and
tomorrow
show you.
for dinner. As I interrupt your date night.
Pants just inserts himself.
Yeah, I do.
I really do like Parks and Rec.
It's wonderful. Did you finish?
I have not.
It's very good.
Yeah.
It's-
Well, now I have Peacock, so
Well,
no
but you don't have
commercials for
internet.
me. Oh yeah. Yeah, my internet went out today, guys. That was fun.
Yep.
And thank you so much, Xfinity, for taking more than 48 hours before you have a technician available to come
Yeah.
fix it.
Yep.
Number 8, Pants. Oh, wait.
Yep. Sure did.
Coming in at number 7 for me was Neo and Morpheus from The Matrix.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. So I think I've mentioned this before. My household was very much a Matrix household. I can't confirm that that's my dad's favorite movie, but we watched them a lot. Like every time it was on TV, we put it on.
Thought the Scorpion King was your dad's favorite movie.
That's according to Nick. I can't
okay.
confirm that. But yeah, growing up with the Matrix was really cool. I think that really helped me get into the sci-fi world. And
Not Trek.
yeah, no Star Trek, Star Wars, all of that was
okay.
always in our home. I see what you're saying. But the Matrix also kind of was, I'm not saying that Star Wars and Star Trek lacked action, but the Matrix was something different. And it was literally about technology and how that AI took over. And so I love those movies still today. We were actually just rewatching them not too long ago. So it's been really probably at least 5 years or more since I've seen the movies. But that's because like at home, you know, my dad kind of controls the remote. So we watch what he watches. And with us, you know, it's Liv and I kind of deciding what we want to watch. But it was really fun to watch them as an adult. I was like, I can't believe my dad let me see this as young as I was when I watched these movies. These are pretty intense.
Yeah. Everybody knows, but like visually, those movies are just awesome.
Kick ass.
Like,
yes.
like so ahead of their time.
Yeah.
And I love just about everything the Wachowski sisters have gone on to do beyond that. Sense8 was great.
Yeah.
I think they're all best friends in that movie or that show. And Speed Racer, I know you haven't seen, but it's awesome. What, around 7?
Yes.
All right. My number 7 is Corey and Sean from Boy Meets World.
Aww.
I love Boy Meets World. I watched it every day, multiple times a day when I was a kid. Grew up with those characters. They were always a little bit older than me, but I still kind of like grew with them. And I remember like when the show was ending and I think they moved to New York or something. And like I don't even remember how old I was, but like I was, you know, also doing something substantial, like some sort of change in my life. And their friendship was very real, like in the way that like Arnold and Gerald's was, you know, super kid friendly. They didn't really fight, but like Sean and Corey had real like fights. And, you know, they had girls come in between them and family stuff. And the whole show as a whole is very real. It portrays shit that kids actually go through.
Yeah.
So
I've seen Boy Meets World, but I didn't get into it the way that it sounds like you were.
I love Boy Meets World.
And it's not for a lack of not liking it. I think I was just younger.
Yeah.
And so I had other interests. But I do remember watching it, and what I did watch, I really did enjoy.
I will say the one thing that show kind of failed at was in the Eric Matthews character, which is Corey's older brother. They went from like in the beginning him being like the kind of dumb jock dude, and whenever they all started growing up, they just made him like this bumbling buffoon of a character. It was very funny, but they just made him super stupid.
Aww.
And I always felt bad for Eric, but it was so funny. He was one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
I just always felt bad for him. But yes, Sean and Corey are my number 7. What is your number 6?
Number 6 for me was Iron Man and Spider-Man from the Marvel Universe.
Was it fucking really?
Yeah.
Because so was mine.
No way! That's awesome!
Tony Stark and Peter Parker.
Yeah! Oh, that's hysterical. Yeah, I mean, you have to... So, every time I think about it, I get like a little tear jerky. But you know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Whenever he's like, I don't think I can do it. He's like, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. And then he just poofs. I lost it in the theater. Lost it. We talked about him previously, but Tom Holland is like, I mean, chef's kiss.
Yes.
Great actor. And I love their bond and their chemistry. Like, Tony Stark is super sarcastic, and Tom Holland, a lot of his stuff goes right over his head, which makes
just so
them,
innocent.
Yeah, which makes their bond like that much better.
It's very much like the best friend bond that very much gets in that gray area of like father-son. And, you know...
It's like your Uncle Tony.
Right. And Peter Parker didn't really, know his dad. His Uncle Ben died.
Right.
And then he got Tony, and then Tony died.
Yeah.
And spoilers alerts. But like I remember in Endgame where, and again, spoiler alert for Endgame if you haven't seen it, but when everybody who was Blit came back, and Tony sees Peter and they hug, and it's just like,
yeah, it's so authentic
love them.
and such a fresh, like, that was such a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Like, it just felt really good to see them on screen again. Their chemistry is really great.
It's so good. And I'm so sad that Tony's not around anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I get why he's not, but what's Peter going to do?
That's what I'm saying.
He lost another father figure.
Yeah. I mean, Tony opened the door for Peter to really dive into his abilities.
Yeah, and be an Avenger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And gave him that channel so that, gave him, the suit, and, he makes some really bad mistakes. But he always had that support.
Yeah.
And I think that was so genuine and so heartwarming. So I kind of tossed around Black Widow and Hawkeye.
I did as well.
But I like their bond better.
Yeah.
They're a very close second. Very, very close second.
They're definitely best friends. That's how they set it up.
Yeah.
But they never had like the emotional pull with me that Tony and Peter did. Like, even though they have so much more screen time together, we've been in the movies with Black Widow and Hawkeye a lot longer.
Yeah.
But one of them is always in danger.
Yeah.
And it's mostly Hawkeye. And you felt it when, again, spoiler alert, when Black Widow died.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't that emotional gut punch that it was with Peter and Tony.
Yeah.
So, and I think the father-son dynamic has a lot to do with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Definitely.
Wow, we matched up not only.
That's crazy.
Yeah, very nice. Well, what's your number 5?
Number 5 for me was The Doctor and Amy Pond.
Whoa. So.
Okay.
It's not my number 5, but it's on my list.
Nice.
That's crazy.
See, we were going to have more overlap. Do you want to wait till we get to yours to talk about that, or do you want to do it now?
Yeah, we can wait.
Okay.
So we can both talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, that was my number 5.
So I'll go with my number 5.
Okay.
My number 5 is Sarah and Felix from Orphan Black.
Ah, nice.
They were, if you haven't watched it, I feel like not enough people have watched Orphan Black. Fucking
Very
watch it.
good
It's
show.
so good, and it's on something. I don't know. I think it's on Prime, but it's a great show, and Tatiana Maslany is amazing in it, and she is going to be entering the MCU as She-Hulk soon. So that's great. But her and Felix are like foster siblings, and Felix is her gay best friend / foster brother, and they have a history of just like getting into shit together and getting into trouble, and they're both kind of like hood rats, and they just have a really good relationship, especially with Sarah's daughter. He takes care of her whenever Sarah's not around, and at first that's a lot. And that's her kid's Uncle Felix, and they're wonderful. I love them.
That show was really good, and I really liked the play between them. Like, no matter what the other person, how bad the shithole was that they found themselves in, they always had one another's back.
Yeah, I mean, especially Felix with Sarah, because at first,
I was gonna say Felix mostly gets the hit on that one.
Especially in the in the early days of the show, Sarah just puts him through the ringer.
Yeah,
and it takes a lot for him to stick around. But I think Kira, her daughter, really is a big driving force for him sticking around.
Yes.
Sarah and Felix. Oh, my number 5. Who's your number 4?
Number 4 for me was David Rose and Stevie Budd.
Very nice.
From Schitt's Creek.
They are on my list.
So we had quite a bit of overlap on the tops.
That was the one that I thought we were gonna
definitely have.
Yeah.
Ah.
Is Sarah and David. Stevie and David. So do you want to wait?
Where was that for you? Well, don't tell me.
Correct.
Yeah, we'll wait. Yeah.
All right.
What was your number 4?
My number 4 was Tommy Pickles and Chucky Finster from Rugrats.
I should have expected to see them in here.
Oh man, just growing up, and I mean, I fucking love Rugrats. It was on all the time, and I believe my mom hated it. She just thought it was weird.
Yeah.
But they were just like the quintessential friendship, like from diapers.
Yeah.
And one of them is afraid all the time, the other is adventurous, and there's always that person in the friendship, right?
Yeah.
And it was just one of the first like strong friendships, I guess, that I saw on TV at a very young age. So yes.
Yeah, I wasn't super into the Rugrats the way that you were. I definitely did see it, but I also think that my parents kind of stayed away from Nickelodeon shows or that. Yeah, no. I think that at that time there were a lot of shows on like Cartoon Network that were kind of questionable, so I think that we just kind of didn't watch those in my house. So they just kind
of lumped all the cartoons into one.
Because like I do remember very clearly that my mom specifically did not like Cat Dog. Like that was not a thing that could play on the TV.
My mom thought it was really. I mean, I could watch it, but she was just always like, "This is not normal."
I think they had a lot of adult humor in it too that my mom picked up, and so she was like, "Nope."
Yeah, Cat Dog was a weird fucking show.
It was. I like now. I don't think I would watch it, but I guess back then maybe it was because it was that like taboo thing. And
but I mean,
in my household,
it was Cat Dog was definitely the show that I would watch if there was nothing else on. It was not one of my favorites.
What was the other one? There was one that was like, was it Robot Chicken? Or that was just the...
So that was on Cartoon Network. But Robot Chicken, I think, came like in our teen years.
Oh, okay.
I know Cow and Chicken.
Cow and Chicken.
That was fucked up.
That one was...
My mom loved Cow and Chicken, and she liked Johnny Bravo.
Oh, Johnny Bravo!
Johnny Bravo was pretty tame.
Yeah.
But Cartoon Network was definitely like the adult-ish.
Yeah.
It
pushed
like,
boundaries.
Yeah. And I mean, they had a whole section that was Adult Swim.
Right.
And that's where those would play. And like Ren and Stimpy was on Nickelodeon, but I think at one point it went to, fuck if I know. But yeah, those were definitely geared towards adults.
Yeah.
And like Rocco's Modern Life, love Rocco. I don't know how my mom let me watch it.
Yeah, that
with
one
her.
has a lot.
Yeah, but still love Rocco.
We digress.
Yes.
Sorry about that. I started thinking about it, and I remember very clearly that I would sneak and watch cartoons at night, and it was such adult material, and I would be like really scared that I would get caught, but I really wanted to watch it, and I also didn't understand it. So I think that the message is you should allow your kids to watch it with them, and then talk to them about it afterwards.
Yeah.
Because me kind of venturing out and finding those things on my own was, I don't think that was a good process for me.
Yeah, and I mean, I think kids are going to seek it out anyway.
Right.
If you tell them no, that's just more push
That's
for them to
super gateway for them to be like,
Exactly.
why not?
Right.
Let me see what this is about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there must be a reason I'm not allowed to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead with my number 3.
Okay.
My number 3 is The Doctor and Amy Pond
Nice.
from Doctor Who.
Yeah.
This was your 5?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. Why?
I love their relationship so
amazing.
much.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Smith, definitely. I mean, my favorite Doctor was David Tennant, for sure. The 10th Doctor. And Matt Smith, I mean, I love his bow tie, but I just enjoyed the adventures they went through. I think that Amy Pond's character with the Doctor, I feel like had more development than I had seen in a while. There were other companions,
Sure.
but she was by far my favorite, and she was ballsier,
Yeah.
I think. Nothing against Rose, because
Everything against Rose.
she was the first one that I was introduced to.
Yeah.
But I did find her to be teethy and annoying. And so, I don't know. Their friendship was just so solid.
Yeah.
And I loved their chemistry. I loved all the different adventures that they went on. I don't know. That's just something that's always stuck with me.
It was definitely I remember when Doctor Who, from my recollection, got big in the US. I mean, I had been watching it since Eccleston, the 9th, and it got really big with Matt Smith. And I think that's just because Tennant was pretty big, and then Matt Smith was he was the youngest Doctor cast ever.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's a pretty good looking guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Tennant was probably better. Whatever. But
Well, yeah, it's Tennant.
Matt Smith is my favorite of the new Doctors. Tennant's a close second, but I love Matt Smith, and that's a lot to do with Amy Pond.
Yes.
And it was just this. We're going to go on a little tangent for Doctor Who. I'm sorry.
Sure, that's fine. I expected it.
But when it's rare that you're introduced to a new Doctor and a new companion in the same episode. Normally, a companion will bleed over to introduce a new Doctor, and then they'll go away. But we're introduced to Matt Smith's 11th Doctor, and we're introduced to Amy Pond, who is a child, and she's maybe 8 or 9 years old, and she sees this man come down in a box, and then she just waits for him to come back. And what's an hour for him in his TARDIS is years for her, and she's moved on. And then we're introduced to her as an adult, played by Karen Gillan, and you know, she's wearing this hot cop outfit, and it's very much like, you know, the sexy cop Halloween outfit, but British. It just feels really different. And she has a boyfriend. She has Rory, and their relationship, her and the Doctor, is just so fucking solid. Yes. And I love them so much.
Yeah. Their chemistry on screen is everything. It
Yeah.
really is. Like the adventures that they go on and the way that they talk to one another.
Yeah. It's like a genuine back and forth, and it doesn't feel scripted.
No. And they love each other so much, but you never blur that line because Rory's there.
Exactly.
So it's like
He's a
you
cock
are
block.
really committed to So you are really committed to these two, like, just being very good friends.
Yeah. And I mean, even all three of them, you know, they go on adventures together, and it's a good, you know, it's a solid pyramid triangle love. It's a good relationship.
It's a great threesome.
Yep. Yep.
I had a sense you were avoiding that.
I was,
so
yes.
I just threw it out there for
Thank
you.
you.
You're welcome.
So, yeah, I love them. And it was the first time I had ever seen Karen Gillan in anything. And now I love her. Like she's big now. She's in Jumanji. She's Nebula in
God, she
Guardians.
was so good in Jumanji.
She was sexy in Jumanji.
I love her. Yes. She really did. She did so well.
Yeah, she did.
Number 3.
That was my number 3.
Oh, well, then I didn't tell you what my number 3 was.
That's correct, because I went first.
Ah, cool. Michael Scott and Dwight Schrute.
I did not include them in my list.
Why? That's fine.
Why did you include them?
They are hysterical. The two of them together are so ridiculous. It's like Michael needs somebody to back him up for the stupid things that he's going to do, and Dwight is game. He's like, as long as I am your assistant. Or not assistant, but assistant to the regional manager, then let's do it. I think that the two of them together is really awful because Michael thinks he's funny. Which, I mean, yes, but we are also on a different perspective, right? So like the things he's doing for the characters in the show, like it's not funny, but then Dwight is like rooting him on or egging him on, and then it just becomes this explosion of why are these two together? I love, like, you know, the whole Ryan started the fire, and like the two of them just get like super into it. Or the time that they think that what happened? I just love that episode where they go to David Wallace's house because I think that somebody. Or they think that the branch is getting shut down. So the two of them are going to like go out there to convince him to like not shut the branch down. And then it turns out that the branch wasn't ever closing. And then Michael and Dwight convince themselves that it was their doing. Yeah. And then like they stopped the branch from closing. Or how Dwight fed him all that fettuccine Alfredo before the run. Like just that whole, The Office, like it changed significantly when Steve Carell left the show, because God bless Andy, but and I really do love him, but in this show in particular, like
Andy was obnoxious.
Andy was, especially the time he split his scrotum. But I mean, The Office in general was such a good show, and I know you and I had set some guidelines which we didn't cover, but you know, they couldn't have fallen into a romantic relationship because my favorite duo from that show is definitely Jim and Pam. Because they are pranksters but very smart about it. Yeah. And it's really fun to watch those different scenarios kind of unravel.
Right.
But man, the show is just that much better having Michael and Dwight team up.
I would say, like, I thought about putting them on the list, and the reason that they weren't is I see Dwight as more of just this brown-nosing assistant that just desperately wants to be in charge. And to me, that's why he's so hung up on Michael. I have no doubt they're friends. Yeah. I think Michael doesn't feel the same about Dwight as Dwight does about Michael.
Sure.
Or maybe the other way around. But I don't think it's an equal partnership. And that's why. Like, to me, Leslie Knope and Ann Perkins are better friends than Michael and Dwight.
Sure.
But
they're always together, though. And as much as... I see what you're saying, because, yes, I do think there's some truth in that. But either way, Michael always drags Dwight with him.
Of course.
Because he knows he's going to do it. So you know that there has to be some kind of, like, gratitude there.
Yeah. I mean, and then Michael coming back for Dwight's wedding is, of course, amazing.
Yes.
So...
That killed me, by the way. So good.
Sorry.
That's okay. Number 2, pants.
2 pants.
Do you want me to go first? Or are you going to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. So coming in at number 2, I know we said besties. I did a trio. So
wow.
I'm sorry about that. But
didn't know we were cheating.
Nick, Schmidt, and Winston from New Girl. Because I can watch that show any day, anytime, any episode. It doesn't matter. The 3 of them are going to do something funny in that episode that is still going to make me laugh. There's a episode in which Winston's like, would you care for some white noise? And Nick's like, okay. And he pulls out this Rainmaker. They're in the middle of the bar. And he pulls out this Rainmaker and just starts like, turning it over for him. And I think they were talking about like how to know if somebody is like, how to know if you find a man attractive or something. Oh my god. It's just the ridiculous things that they get into, how they encourage each other to do really stupid shit. I love them. I mean, the comedy is still great. Jessica Day is amazing.
Yes.
And I just love the friendship between all of them, even with Cece. I cannot express how much I love that show. It always makes me feel good. There isn't a single episode in that show that gives me like gut wrench or like a bad feeling. Every single episode is filled with just comedy and lightheartedness, and I just love it.
I also love New Girl. They did not make my list, mostly because I forgot. But I do love Nick and Schmidt. Winston was always kind of like I was back and forth on him because sometimes it was just a little much.
Winston sometimes is a lot.
I liked his cat.
Yes.
And was it Fergus? Was his cat named Ferguson?
Ferguson. Yeah.
Ferguson.
I was like, it's not Fergus, but it is Fergus. Yeah, Ferguson.
Fergus something. But Nick and Schmidt, like,
Oh,
to
yeah.
me, made that show.
Yeah, those two are hysterical, especially when they do the flashbacks.
Yeah.
And fucking Schmidt's fat.
Yeah. And, I mean, that show it would have been fine even without, like, Jessica Day. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, she was great.
Yeah.
She was the new girl. But even when she was off the show and they brought in Megan Fox for a little while,
Yeah.
I was still fine with that.
Yeah.
Not a huge Megan Fox fan, but
No.
Nick and Schmidt were still there.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
I think that Megan played a pretty fun role in that because she just got to kind of be who we think she is.
Yeah.
Like, not dark, but like, she's just quiet, I
Right.
guess. Or like that person in
Kinda
the room
dark.
who's like kind of intimidating.
Yeah.
And I think that it was just really perfect to include her in that. It was very random, but I
Yeah.
think she did a great job.
My number 2 is Hugo and Charlie
Oh
from
my
Lost.
god. I cannot believe I didn't include anybody from Lost.
Yeah. I'm not going to spoil anything about Lost because everybody should experience it. But
The biggest spoiler of them all. I hate when people do that. We're not going to do it anyways.
their relationship from the beginning is just very it's very genuine, and Hugo is just like such a caring person, and Charlie has so many issues he's going throughout the entirety of the show, and Hugo doesn't give up on him.
Yeah.
Charlie's a drug addict. That's set up early on, so Hugo does his best to help him with that, and he is trying to divvy up food for the survivors, and he's just a genuinely good person.
Yeah.
Charlie kind of shits on that sometimes, but in the end, it's just
I feel like Hugo helps him become a better person.
yeah, and it's just a very pure relationship. And I don't want to go too much into it because spoilers.
I love Lost. Guys, I mean, I know that there's a lot of people that talk shit about Lost.
And
Watch
fuck those
it
people.
and come up with your own opinion because
Yeah,
Pants and I are on the it's great
yeah. And
bandwagon.
if you watch it and you decide you don't like it, I'm sorry, you're wrong. Lost is the most wonderful thing ever.
It's true.
Yes.
Very true. Number 1 is Tina and Pants from What the Fuck Did I Just Watch? That's not true.
Oh.
But I thought it would be really funny.
Yeah, I was gonna put that as like my 1-1.
I did Lorelai and Rory Gilmore from Gilmore Girls.
Okay.
That is such an incredible show. They're so witty.
Mm-hmm.
They're very quick with their comebacks.
Oh yes.
It's a very intelligent show. I'm so sad it's not on the air anymore. But I think that
I thought they were gonna do more after
had-
a year in the life.
I don't know.
Or a
I
year,
had heard that,
something.
but it's been a while, and so I don't know that they're gonna do that. There was like those 4 episodes where they did different seasons
Yeah.
of the year.
Right.
I love their dynamic. I think that I've never met a mom and a daughter that are that close before. But it's really such a fun show to watch.
I was introduced to Gilmore Girls later in life.
Did I get you on it or no?
It was either you or Ashley.
Yeah, one of us pushed you to it.
Yeah, and I watched it on Netflix. It was after the Netflix season had come out, so that kind of gives you a timetable of when I watched
Yeah.
it. So it was fairly late after it had aired and whatever. So I got to just binge the whole way through it, and it was great. Like I love their banter. I will say it was a little much at times, but I appreciated the sarcasm and I mean, but I can only watch Rory make horrible mistakes and choices so much, and she just keeps doing it.
The show is also so embedded in pop culture. Like they had a lot of references that if you weren't quick about it, like you'd miss it.
Yeah. All right. My number one. Do you know my number one?
No.
Well, you should.
Is it the smoke monster in the island? On the back of a sea turtle?
Mm-mm. It's not it. But now I have to post that picture somewhere.
You actually drew that on my bookshelf that we just recently moved because I moved.
Back in
that was a very
high
long
school?
time ago.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, my number one is David Rose and Stevie Budd.
Oh, duh. We had skipped over that. Yeah.
Just I don't even like have to go into it, but I'm going to. I mean, they go through so much together. Like failed relationships,
polyamorous relationships.
Yeah. They share a boyfriend at one time, and she
still won't bring him his towels.
Nope, no towels. He's asked her thrice, but no towels.
In case you didn't know, which you should, we're talking about Schitt's Creek because we haven't said that.
Oh, I don't think we need to.
I mean, for those of you who haven't watched it, what are you
doing?
waiting for?
Yeah, watch that.
Such a wholesome show.
It is definitely the best show to come out of the 2010s.
Yes.
Like, period. And their relationship is just so genuine, and she sticks by him through his all his bullshit. Yeah. Because he's very high maintenance, that David. and I love him for it. They're both great all the way up to the finale. Mm-hmm. You know that even after the show ends, like, they're still doing their shit. Yeah. And yeah, I just love them.
Yeah, they're so cute. I think that so you got me onto the show, right? Mm-hmm. And
You're
one of
welcome.
my favorite scenes of the two of them is when they're talking about wine.
Of course.
And how, David talks about how he likes the wine for the wine.
Mm-hmm. He likes the wine, not the label.
Yeah, there we go. The wine. And I thought that was a really unique way of answering the question, but not answering the question.
Right. I mean, it tells
not
you
directly anyway.
Right. It's the perfect metaphor for being pansexual and just loving somebody for them and not what they look like or what they have downstairs or whatever.
Right.
So,
and that's what I love about the show too. They never, like, even with conflicts, they never let that carry out. Like, they always found a way to kind of work through it and
of course,
and be a family again. Like, that's what I genuinely liked about the show, is that there was not a moment in which you felt like anxious. Like, the whole thing was just really light and really heartwarming.
Yeah. And it was definitely like, by the end of it, it was the family, I guess, that every family should be. Mm-hmm. Right.
They all support each other.
Yeah. Their understanding of everything, no matter who you love or how stuck up you are or whatever, like, they all started in the same place and they all had the same issue. They met Stevie, who was, just running this motel, and they were all just kind of down and had nowhere to go. And throughout the show, they all form different relationships with each other, business relationships, romantic relationships, whatever. And it's just a beautiful show. Mm-hmm. It's so good. Yeah. And I watch it all the fucking time. Yeah. I was so sad when it ended.
I know. I think the whole world was. People finally found this show towards the end. Mm-hmm. That's when it blew up, and everybody's like, "We're just now so invested. Like, why are you going?"
I think they put it on Netflix at season 3, which is when I watched. I was with the show live from 4 through 6, and it was just I was so happy when people started getting on board, so I could talk to people. And
yeah, it's literally something that I recommend to everybody all the time.
yeah,
Everyone that I've asked to watch it who had not watched it has always come back to me and been like, "Wow, thank you."
yeah. And the rewatchability is just
Yeah, that's another one that I can play in the background all the time.
that one I cannot play in the background because I will watch it. Like the Office, I can put on and go to sleep.
Yeah.
Shits, I get invested again, so I cannot do that yet. Maybe in a few years
Yeah, that's so funny.
when it doesn't make me cry at the end, or the beginning, or anytime. But yes, those are our top 10 TV movie BFFs.
Yeah, but you know who our favorite BFFs are?
Is it Woody and Buzz?
We were talking about best friend tattoos. Because I guess he forgot that I'm his best friend. So,
Excuse me.
yeah. I just asked you who our favorite BFFs are. You're supposed to answer Tina and Pants, but instead you busted out with
You got
Tim
a friend
Allen
in
and
me.
Tom Hanks. Thank you guys so much for
Yes.
listening. I hope you enjoyed our bonus episode. That was fun. If you like this content, let us know. We'd be happy to put out some more lists
Yeah.
for you guys. We'll
I have
become
ideas.
BuzzFeed, but
Yeah.
audibly.
Audibly is what you're looking for.
I know, I can't do it. It's just one of those things where like it's mouth diarrhea.
Gross.
But you guys can find us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, and subscribe, rate and review us. Tell your friends about us.
Yep.
And when you do rate and review us, that's how people find us. So
Yep.
leave us some comments. What do you think?
What do you think?
What do you think? Yeah, that's what you think.
Yeah, find us on Twitter. We are on Twitter at WTF Did I Watch Pod. And if you have any suggestions for us, any questions for either of us, you can shoot us an email at WTFDidIJustWatchPod@gmail.com.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is.
A lot to type out too.
WTF Did I Just Watch Pod? Yep, that's it. Yep. Was not taken. So yes, we
It's a
will.
problem with developing something so late
Yeah.
in the game.
We will be back at the end of the week with our review of Scorpion King.
Scorpion King, Scorpion King. The rock
Write me
is
off a
in
piece
the
of that
Scorpion King.
Scorpion blood.
Okay.
Goodbye, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Bye.